I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening one day after winning a 7th Super Bowl championship and 5th Super Bowl MVP. Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady spoke of the 31-9 victory over the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55, said the way Tampa Bay's defense, especially the D-line, got after Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes was pivotal in the win. Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles had the perfect matchup set as well, points out ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Levante David, you got Travis Kelce. When we man up, you have him. Devin White, when it's a rundown, use your speed and athleticism to get to the ball with bad intentions. The ability to plastering is on the backside when Mahomes breaks the pocket, and all of the guys are making sure that they have a man in that situation.
Mahomes said today the loss in Super Bowl 55 will motivate him not only next season, but for the remainder of his career. NBA Lakers big man Anthony Davis out tonight versus the Thunder with tendinosis in his right Achilles tendon. Forward Lauri Markkanen, the latest Bulls front court player, sidelined by injury. He's out 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained shoulder.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yuso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Bucs are Super Bowl champs. Who could have seen that one coming? Oh, your boy had the Bucs on Friday. Lot we'll get into here. We do have Mike Triplett next hour. Kevin Mawae, Hall of Famer Kevin Mawae, in hour number 3, got himself a new job. He'll be the associate or assistant offensive line coach with the Indianapolis Colts, leaving Arizona State. We'll also talk about the Super Bowl, the Hall of Fame, all the good stuff with Kevin Mawae 2 hours from right now. Hope you enjoyed the game. Pretty cool day for certainly not for Saints fans. If you're a Saints fan, you watched your division rival, a team that you beat twice and then eliminated you from the playoffs in your building, win the Super Bowl. And I'll never be happy when a division opponent wins the Super Bowl. I was super pumped when Denver beat Carolina. I was even more excited when the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead, and that will now live on in infamy forever. So I'm not pumped that Tampa won a Super Bowl. I am excited for the LSU guys, though. And for Leonard Fournette and Devin White, Kevin Minter, a great day for those guys. Fournette probably would have been the game's MVP. When he ripped off his touchdown run, and then subsequently, as it looked like, as Tampa was late in the third quarter into the fourth quarter was chewing clock. Had they ridden Fournette in those back-to-back drives instead of Ronald Jones, Fournette probably would have gotten the game's MVP. As it is, he finished with 16 carries for 89 yards, averaged nearly 6 yards a carry, also threw in 4 receptions for 46 yards. You can also go back to the goal line scenario where the Bucs in the first quarter, which seems like a completely different game, got stuffed at the 1-yard line. If you give the ball to Fournette there, probably a better chance he's getting in than Ronald Jones, just a bigger back, lower the pad level, get a yard. I think he'd get it. Fournette had a real shot. And clearly he would rather a Super Bowl championship than a Super Bowl MVP. But just when you look in the history of time, if you win a Super Bowl MVP, that is legacy. I mean, you are that forever. I mean, Desmond Howard is a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, whatever you remember about that game back in January of 1996 in New Orleans, I remember Desmond Howard as a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, Malcolm Smith with the Seattle Seahawks is a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, you can go back to those Dallas Cowboys teams. I mean, as much as some people may kind of, sort of turn their nose up at it, Larry Brown won a Super Bowl MVP as the cornerback of the Dallas Cowboys back in 1996. So, I mean, yeah, I was really hoping they'd ride Leonard a little more late and he'd win the MVP, but Fournette was awesome. Devin White was equally as awesome defensively. Fournette led all rushers. Devin White led all tacklers. 12 stops, 2 tackles for loss. He had the game-sealing interception at the end. And Devin White announced for all of the NFL that he is very much in the conversation for being the best linebacker in football. Not one of the best, not one of the best young linebackers, no qualifiers. Like, he's very much in the thick of that conversation as the best linebacker in football. He's a tackling machine. He makes plays sideline to sideline. He clearly can turn the ball over as well. So Devin White, hey, look, we knew that, but we watched Devin White play at LSU. We also see him in the NFC South. But if you're an AFC fan, if you're a Raiders fan, you're not maybe locked into the Bucs every Sunday. You haven't seen what Devin White's done the last 2 years. Maybe you see some highlights, but you watched that on full display last night. It was apparent for all to see. Devin White is an absolute wrecking ball. Also, congrats to our guy Kevin Minter, was out on the field, mostly special teams for Tampa Bay yesterday, but he got himself a ring as well. The LSU guys for the Chiefs showed up. Unfortunately, not much to show for it. Clyde was the leading rusher. So the top 2 leading rushers in the game were Fournette and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Clyde 9 for 64, also caught a couple of passes. Darrell Williams just 2 carries for 5 yards, but also caught a couple of passes for 10 yards. So you had a very heavy LSU presence. The disappointing day actually was Tyrann Mathieu. And Tyrann had a really rough go of it in the ball game. Just a couple of tackles on the day for Tyrann Mathieu. 3 total tackles for Tyrann. And they really abused him in the ball game. Some costly penalties late in the first half. Personal foul penalty on sportsmanlike conduct, which gave Tampa 15 yards. The PI in the end zone, which put the ball at the 1, and then Antonio Brown scoring with 10 seconds to go before half. That was on Tyrann Mathieu. So a rough day for an all-pro safety and one of the best safeties in the NFL. He'll have better days, but obviously Sunday wasn't a great day for Tyrann Mathieu. But overall, a great day for a lot of former LSU guys, including Leonard Fournette, who talked about his playoff performance and what he was able to do building up to Super Sunday.
Yeah, when the playoffs started, when Rojo, the first game when he didn't play, I told Tom, I told Coach Byron, I told Coach BA, this is what I'm here for. I'm ready for big moments. I've always played in big games. And like I say, it was a struggle for me at first. Me being cut was still bothering me. It was still the back of my head some days when I was practicing and stuff. But God doesn't make any mistakes, and I just kept my faith.
Fournette famously tweeted before the season, whenever the Jacksonville Jaguars released him, that he wouldn't forget. And clearly, their post-game mentions being cut. He also talked about what it meant to him personally to win a Super Bowl.
Man, it means everything. From being cut, to going to my trials and tribulations throughout the season, and now I'm a world champion. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be a part of this organization, my teammates for welcoming me, helping me become a better person, a better man. So I appreciate these guys.
The tweet from the Jaguars on August 31st was, "We have waived running back Leonard Fournette," to which he quote tweeted, "I remember, prayer hands and a diamond." And he certainly got the last laugh on this day. Devin White, in just year 2, talked about what it was like to win his first Super Bowl.
I feel good. I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful. Man, this is my first time ever since I was in Little League playing in the Super Bowl. And it just took a long time to playing in the championship period. I don't count the NFC championship because that's not the ultimate goal. But it's my first time since Little League playing in the championship. And I worked so hard. That's all I ever dreamed of. I always got a lot of individual awards, but that's not what I play for. I play to be the best in the world, for my team to be the best in the world. And I was just so thankful to be able to take the stage tonight. And, God was on our side, man. We put in a lot of work. I'm just so thankful.
Devin White, after the Bucs beat Mahomes and Tampa 31-9. We will talk more about the game itself and what next year looks like in Tampa. Obviously, that's relevant because they're in the Saints division. Also, what next year looks like for the Saints. Mike Triplett will be with us about an hour from right now. But what transpired yesterday, I'd be lying if I told you I thought it would be a 31-9 type game. But what we did talk about on Friday is that I thought that Tampa's defensive front seven was the difference. They had the best run defense in the NFL, and their linebackers, Devin White and Levante David, uniquely positioned to stop that short intermediate stuff from Kansas City because of their athleticism. And then, of course, missing Eric Fisher was massive. We talked about this on Friday. Missing Eric Fisher when you had Shaq Barrett and all the guys, JPP and Ndamukong Suh and all those guys, those great rushers, those great guys on the defensive line that were able to pressure the passer against a backup offensive line in that game. They just harassed Patrick Mahomes the entire day. So congrats to Tampa Bay. Mostly congrats to the LSU guys that won it. And Saints had their work cut out for them because it looks like everybody's coming back to Tampa next year, something we will discuss as we move throughout the show. Let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, if you want to join us, you can. You can join us on the JimsFirearms.net phone lines, 499-1045, 499-1045, or toll-free 844-568-MATT. Tweet us at Matt Moscona, jump at the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Lots of ways to get involved in the show. We'll knock out a break. When we come back, what about the Saints 2021? It appears as though, reports this weekend, that Jameis Winston is in the driver's seat to be the Saints quarterback. What about 2021 Super Bowl odds? Where are the Saints? We'll tell you that when we come back. Stick around. Monday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. So you got a full slate of NBA action, NHL action, college basketball. Whatever your sport, you can certainly watch it at Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out. Tonight and every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. So while you can always grab and go, you can get your wings to fly. You can have curbside to go where they'll bring it out to your car so you never have to worry about, you can have a contactless experience if that's what you want at Pluckers. Monday is a great night to go dine in because Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. So pay one low price and you can eat as many wings as you want all night long, every Monday. So make tonight a night where you get by Pluckers. Something I should mention more is the Pluckers Club. Join the Pluckers Club. For every $1 you spend, you accrue points, and then you can convert that into food. Give you a free meal on your birthday every year with the Pluckers Club. It's at Pluckers. 2 locations, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine in, carry out. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Congrats to Alan Faneca, who was elected to Pro Football's Hall of Fame. We'll chat about that coming up in about 30 minutes from right now. Give you some thoughts on former LSU All-American, another LSU Tiger in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Super Bowl 55, barely even cold, but Super Bowl 56 odds, as you would expect, are already out. And, I think this is going to be a very interesting year from the Saints' perspective, looking at Super Bowl odds, because we've sort of understood for as long as the Saints have been in this sort of win-now mode, and Drew Brees has been at the center of this franchise, that they were always going to have very high Super Bowl odds, and that they were just going to be one of the teams that was an odds-on favorite to win, because that's just where they're positioned. They've been building to this. Now we're all readily understanding and aware that Drew Brees is very likely going to retire, and the great unknown is who's going to be playing quarterback for the Saints next year. So whatever these odds are, we can all assume that it's going to be Jameis Winston, but whatever these Super Bowl odds are, I think reflect not just the quarterback position, but that roster as a whole and what's there and how they're viewed. So probably not surprisingly, a Super Bowl 56 odds, so these are odds for next season. The Kansas City Chiefs are at the top of the list. That shouldn't surprise anyone. Yes, great run by Tampa. They played very hot late, but keep in mind they weren't even the division champion this year. And while they likely return everyone, there's a reason Kansas City was in back-to-back Super Bowls. They've still got Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City's still the odds-on favorite at plus 600. The Packers are next at plus 900, followed by the current champs, the Bucs, at plus 1,000. Next are a couple of AFC teams with the Bills and the Rams, and then back to a few NFC teams. The Bills and Rams are both at plus 1,200. The Niners are at plus 1,600, and then your New Orleans Saints at plus 1,800. So the eighth best Super Bowl odds for next year are your New Orleans Saints. Better than 24 other teams. Remember, 14 teams make the playoffs. The Saints have the eighth best odds, according to Vegas, to win the Super Bowl next year. Not just be in it, but to win it. That, to me, speaks volumes about this roster. More on that in a second. A couple of other notables. Following the Saints, the Seahawks, the Browns, a couple more playoff teams. The highest odds for a non-playoff team is San Francisco. And San Francisco just one spot ahead of New Orleans. And obviously the Niners just had a ton of injuries a year after being in the Super Bowl. So most expect the Niners have a bounce back when healthy. Anyway, so Niners, Saints, Seahawks, Browns, Cowboys, and Colts both at plus 2,500. They're joined by the Dolphins and Titans. The biggest surprise in this list to me has to be the Titans. The Titans with back-to-back playoff appearances at plus 2,500, smack dab in the middle of this list. The other playoff teams on the list, the Steelers at plus 3,000, the Bears at plus 5,000, and then Washington football team way down at the bottom at plus 6,600. What an abysmal year in the NFC East. Take that for just whatever it's worth. At the very bottom, the bottom five are the Bengals, Lions, Texans, Jets, and Jags, all likely to, or we know will have new quarterbacks next year. The Bengals obviously will have Joe Burrow, but everyone else there will very likely have a new quarterback next season. If you're wondering, Panthers and Falcons near the bottom. Panthers at plus 5,000 and the Falcons at plus 6,600. So Saints and Bucks very likely to be jostling at the top of the NFC South again next season, and see if the Saints can pull off another division title and maybe get back to the Super Bowl. But I do think the fact that the Saints have the 8th best odds to win the Super Bowl is validation of this roster where we don't even know who the quarterback is going to be. We don't know right now who that'll be. I mean, we're all assuming, I'm assuming, that it's going to be Jameis Winston. I mean, we saw reports over the weekend, for me and Rappaport, notably, that Jameis Winston is in the driver's seat. His words, to be the Saints quarterback for next year. And that makes a lot of sense for a lot of the reasons we've talked about here, over the last certainly several weeks, and really over the last month, I guess. Probably even longer, since Jameis signed last year, why it makes a lot of sense for him to be the next guy. But when you look at Winston being in the driver's seat, the report from Rappaport is that Jameis Winston, this is what he said on the NFL Network pregame show. The New Orleans Saints know this. Drew Brees is set to retire. He hasn't officially announced it yet, but it's going to happen. Their quarterback plans for 2021 are this: Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. Rappaport added, my understanding is Jameis Winston is in the driver's seat to be starting for the Saints next season. He is the potential heir to everything Drew Brees had. Again, Jameis has started 70 games. He's completed 61% of his passes, led the league in passing yards in 2019, where he went for over 5,000 yards. Yes, turnovers have been something that have been oft discussed. You know my feel on that. We've talked about that a lot here as well. But also over this weekend, remember, Drew Brees restructured his contract. So in so doing, he saved the Saints some $24 million. The other bit of information we got today is that it looks like New Orleans is going to be $79 million over the cap. Remember, initially that number we thought was going to be $100 million, and they sort of readjusted that, and it looked like it was going to be closer to $90 million. That the projected cap number of 185 was actually off, or 175 was off by about $10 million. So that gave the Saints a little bit more room. But now we find it's actually going to be even more so. Reports today are that the Saints are going to be $79 million over the cap. You restructure Drew Brees to save $24 million. Well, now all of a sudden, obviously, you've freed up some more cap space there. The Saints are going to make this work. They always do. My big question is, what does a Jameis Winston contract look like? What would that number be? You know, I've said that I think it looks a lot like the Teddy Bridgewater number. You got a 3-year, $60 million contract in the neighborhood of $20 million a year. I don't know how you go much less than that for a starting quarterback in the NFL. And if the Saints lowball Jameis, is he willing to stay, or does he go somewhere where he may have an opportunity to make more money and be a starter on a potential playoff team? That's something that'll play out in time. But the other part of this conversation that has popped up mostly as a result of what happened last night with the Bucs winning the Super Bowl, and I've seen this a lot. People will say, how could Jameis not have won with this team? Tom Brady goes and wins a Super Bowl in the first year with this team. Who scored the first touchdown of the night? Excuse me. Who scored the first 2 touchdowns of the night? It was Rob Gronkowski. He was not on the team a year ago. Who scored the touchdown right before half? That was Antonio Brown. Also not on the Bucs a year ago. Who scored the 4th touchdown? Oh, it was playoff Lenny around right end. Beautiful run, by the way. Also, not on the Bucs a year ago. And the other guy who scored points, the place kicker, who made field goals and extra points, Ryan Suckup, also was not on the team a year ago. Literally everybody that scored a point for Tampa in the Super Bowl last night was not on the Bucs team a year ago. And you know the only real miscue they had was the snap over Tom Brady's head, and that was Ryan Jensen, who was on the team a year ago, by the way. And Antoine Winfield, who played awesome, by the way. Much respect to Antoine Winfield, who jacked up his shoulder, played in the NFC Championship game, injured it again, got himself right over the 2 weeks. I'm sure he had the thing in a harness, injected it, went and played a great game. Good for him. But anyway, it's looking more and more obvious that Jameis Winston's going to be the guy. Reports from me and Rappaport over the weekend are that's going to be the case. What's that number going to be? We'll find out sooner than later. But the Saints are already in a much better cap position than we initially thought, thanks to a restructure here by Drew Brees early in this process. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about our friends at My Clean Living. Great new sponsor we've been telling you about for a few weeks now. If you are a business owner, if you are a school, if you are a restaurant, a bar, a doctor's office, a dentist office, a grocery store, a convenience store, literally anywhere that welcomes in the public, and you have COVID concerns, either for your own personal health and safety, the health and safety of your employees, or the health and safety of the public, mycleanliving.net. They have air purifiers that use NASA technology, literally technology developed by NASA to keep the astronauts at the International Space Station, the International Space Station clean and sanitary. They use NASA technology in these filters, which have been proven in FDA military lab compliant testing at the University of Texas Medical Branch, University of Cincinnati, at Kansas State University. There's all kind of medical testing they've done in FDA compliant military lab testing to eliminate the virus that causes COVID-19. It'll also pull out odor. It'll also eliminate bacteria and mold and E. coli and H1N1 and influenza and SARS and so many other viruses. It's incredible technology. It is affordable. And by the way, they do have financing as well for your home, for your public space. We have 4 of them in the Guarantee Building. So whenever you come in here, you can rest assured that you're in a clean environment that is constantly being cleaned, both air and surfaces. Learn more, mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. Again, keep your public spaces purified. mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. We'll go around the SEC. Later this hour, we'll also talk about Alan Faneca, elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Is Patrick Peterson's time in Arizona up? God, we got a ton to get to. Mike Triplett, a little less than an hour from right now. We'll talk some Saints. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Stick around. Monday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
It started in a tiny showroom with checkered floors and just a few cars, which is very different than now, but the Richards Honda philosophy has not changed. Be kind, be completely transparent with our pricing, and above all else, give customers fanatical care. You know, Richards Honda being around for 50 years is so important to everyone around here, and we're all super proud to be a part of that history.
Come celebrate the 50-year anniversary of Richards Honda, I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Devin Steve in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat said Freddie Moscona, referring to the sweater that I'm wearing today as if it were a Freddy Krueger sweater. I will grant you, it is large horizontal stripes alternating maroon and gray, but Freddie isn't maroon and gray. Freddie, here's a picture. Freddie is maroon and green, right? So this isn't really a Freddie sweater. And I really don't mind it. I actually like my sweater today. Maybe I could rock the hat.
Yeah. And the butter knives.
Butter?
Yeah, butter knives, fine.
You're saying his hands are butter knives?
Right.
Is that a thing that people say?
It's from Freddy versus Jason, yeah. Like right before this guy gets offed, he makes fun of his Christmas sweater and butter knives.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. If some dude came up to me with literal, like, knives coming out of his hand, especially with a mangled face like that, you know that dude's been through some stuff. And I haven't seen the movie. I think I saw Nightmare on Elm Street long time ago. Like, one of them maybe a long time ago. But yeah, I think there's got to be an awareness in life. Like, knowing when to pick a fight and when not to pick a fight. And dude with knives as fingers, with a mangled face, a hat, and a ripped up sweater, I don't really want to find out if that guy is legit dangerous or not. I'm out.
Yeah, probably best to just run away from that one.
Take my chances with other people, but not with that guy.
No one's going to think less of you.
And if they did, I wouldn't care.
There you go.
Because I'd be alive. Unless if he caught me. Not really fast. I never really was fast. Especially now, bad knees and all. It's not really good. But yeah, thanks. I kind of like sweater day. I rock the hat, though. Super Bowl TV ratings, we're still waiting on the big national rating, but we are getting market ratings in. They still love Tom Brady in Boston. How about this? John Orand of the Sports Business Journal tweeted, the rating for Boston last night of 57.6, what that means is 57.6 of all televisions in Boston were on the Super Bowl last night. 57.6. How good is that? Tampa. You know the city that hosted the Super Bowl? You know the city that had its team playing in the Super Bowl? 52.3. Which is still great. I mean, like, you only get that kind of rating for a Super Bowl. It's the only event in the world that generates that kind of a rating. But Boston got a better television rating than Tampa. I mean, I think when New Orleans was in the Super Bowl back in February of 2010, I tried to look this up today and I couldn't find it. If someone has it, correct me. Maybe you can find it for me, Muse. I can't remember. But I want to say the number was somewhere in the upper 70s. It was like close to 80%, which, and you might say, well, what's the other 20% doing? You forget some people just don't care. Like literally some people may just be, walking their cat. They just don't care about football. They know nothing about it. The social event of it doesn't appeal to them. They're just completely disengaged, and that's fine. To each their own, whatever. But the fact that Boston got a better rating than Tampa speaks volumes about Tampa, which is a fraudulent sports town. And it kind of irks me that they're calling Tampa Bay Champa Bay. Remember, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup Finals. The Rays were in the World Series. And now the Bucks have won the Super Bowl. So it's been a great year for Tampa, and congrats. But it's basically a very impotent sports town. There just aren't real diehard fans. No one ever goes to Rays games until they're in the World Series. We see the same thing with the Bucks every year. How many times have the Saints played there on a muggy day where they had fans disguised as red seats? And then the Lightning, well, I don't know anything about hockey, except for when I'm betting hockey, because apparently I'm really good at that too. What you got, Muse?
82.
82.
That's according to, that was released by Nielsen, so 82%.
Right. So I said upper 70s. I even lowballed. It was 82%, that's bonkers. Like, the fact that 8 out of 10 people, 8.2 out of 10 people, his television sets were on the Super Bowl in New Orleans when the Saints played the Colts. It's just a bonkers number. It just never happens. So by comparison, when New Orleans was in the Super Bowl, it was 82%. Tampa's in the Super Bowl in their hometown, 30 points lower at 52%, which was actually lower than Boston. Patriots fans had more interest in their former quarterback playing in the Super Bowl for Tampa than Tampa, the city of Tampa, did watching their team in the Super Bowl in their town. Stay hot, Tampa. It's after further review. Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana, including their newest location in Zachary. And I'll keep reminding you, our friends at Shawbills and both the Boutique and the Port Allen locations, they are hiring and they are in need of technicians. So if you have a degree of competency or certification as an auto mechanic, they want you now. Boutique, Port Allen, amazing benefits. If you're thinking career instead of job, benefits, 401k, retirement, health benefits, employer match, all that stuff. Shawbills, ShawBillsTire.com. They treat their customers like family. You better know they treat their employers like family. ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss defense got some immediate help Monday. Middle linebacker Chance Campbell announced his commitment to the Rebels. Entered the transfer portal after his career at Maryland. 6'3", 235. He was actually honorable mention All Big Ten this past year. He's expected to have 2 years of eligibility remaining and be immediately eligible in the 2021 season. Of course, Ole Miss co-defensive coordinator DJ Durkin is former Maryland coach DJ Durkin, who recruited Campbell to Maryland out of high school.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Some more transfer news. Kentucky got a transfer from Michigan State receiver Trayvon Morgan Morgan's a 6'6 wideout, originally from Ohio. Committed to the Spartans a couple of years ago over Iowa, Iowa State, Ole Miss, Missouri, Washington State, Rutgers, Virginia. Morgan will have 4 years of eligibility remaining, so he will be a redshirt freshman for the Cats in 2021. The number 9 overall player in Ohio, the number 44 receiver in the country in 2019. Redshirted his first year in East Lansing, played sparingly in 2020. Now he'll line up for the Wildcats. Third transfer out of the Big Ten this offseason for Kentucky.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Georgia made a key addition to the 2022 recruiting class. They've landed 4-star defensive tackle Big Bear Alexander out of Denton, Texas. 8th commitment for Georgia in the 2022 recruiting cycle. First out of state for the Bulldogs. Picked Georgia over Bama, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M. The second elite defensive tackle prospect for the 2022 class. Big Bear is the 9th best defensive tackle in the country and number 140 overall recruit for 2022. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. If you need office equipment, you need Gulf Coast Office Products. That one barely touched the net. That was awesome. Big Bear Robinson, DeColdis Crawford. Better name.
Oh, man, it's still DeColdis Crawford. Big Bear's good, but this guy's literally DeColdis.
Yeah, that's bold. To go DeColdis is bold.
Got to back it up, that's for sure.
You know, Big Bear, that's awesome. It's almost like Big Cat at Auburn, which also is awesome. Like, if you as a parent commit to that for your child, I mean, who was the guy? Wasn't there a guy named Pooh or something like that? See, there was a guy from Florida State. Check me on this, Pooh or Pooh Bear or something like that. See, there was a FSU. Say Pooh Bear. Well, when you Google FSU, make sure you put the S in there so it's not FU Pooh Bear, which is what I just Googled. Pooh Bear Williams.
Yeah, there it is.
Clarence Williams. Clarence Pooh Bear Williams. But I want to say there was someone else in there who had more of a fecal nickname. It'll hit me. Big Bear. Big Bear. Headed to Georgia. All right, it's after further review. Big Bear Alexander. I don't know what I said, but Big Bear Alexander. Big Bear Alexander. Big Cat Bryant. And the Big Cat Bryant also has alliteration in it, so I kind of like that one a little better, too. And they spell it with a K.
And it goes with the mascot at Auburn. Well, at least one of their mascots.
Yeah.
They have about 5.
And DeColdis. Give me another one. What's a great nickname that we've seen in football?
I mean, He Hate Me? He Hate Me?
Yeah, but I'm more going like what they put in the program, not just on the back of the jersey. Because Rod Smart, when he played with the Panthers for a while, he had to put Smart on his jersey.
That's true. Well, that's because, the NFL.
Yeah, I know.
I might need to think a little bit more. Let
me know if you got good ideas. Well, tip of the cap to Birdman in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat who mentioned Apu Ika, which Haldane and I had many.
Was that the one you might have been thinking of?
No, it's not. It's not.
Was it the kid who played basketball at Vanderbilt? What was his name?
Oh, that was Simi Shitu, another one. But no, those were just one-offs on their name. This was actually like the guy's name was like flatulence or poo or something like that. It'll come to me. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Tip of the cap to our buddy Jacques Doucet at WAFB. A wide-ranging interview with Scott Woodward, LSU's athletic director, which aired yesterday after the Super Bowl. Talked about a lot of things, including the federal investigation into LSU's handling of sexual allegations. In about 15 minutes from now, I want to talk about the latest because there was some breaking news on that Friday after we got off the air, and we'll also let you hear what Scott Woodward had to say about it. That's coming up about 15 minutes. Mike Triplett, 30 minutes from right now. We'll look at the Saints offseason with the Saints beat writer for ESPN.com. A lot to get to. When we come back, they'll wrap up the hour. Alan Faneca headed to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Patrick Peterson could be headed out of Arizona. Catch up on a couple of former Tigers next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. You know where to find them, and you know what I tell you every single day, which is working with Darren obligates you to nothing. If at any point you're not thrilled with the work Darren and his team are doing, no worries. Fire him. He'll let you out of the contract free and clear. You know, the biggest problem many people have is, what if I hire a realtor and they're just not making any headway, and then I'm stuck in a 6-month contract? Not with Darren. If at any point you're not thrilled, fire him. He'll let you out of the contract free and clear, but you won't. There's a reason Darren James is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. Literally the top 1% of realtors in the United States of America. It's right here in Baton Rouge. Darren has the systems in place to get your home sold faster for more money. Have one conversation with Darren James. Call him, 335-7666. 335-7666 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm feeling good. So I just thought you should know.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Corolla for $235 per month. That's right, $235 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, buddy. It's been a long time. Yeah, but on behalf of all of us who love the game and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it is my great privilege to welcome you to Canton, Ohio, and to promise you that we'll keep your legacy to the game alive in Canton forever. Okay?
Sounds like a deal.
Okay, buddy.
You got me. You got me.
The knock is one of the really cool traditions associated with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Every year on Super Bowl weekend, the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists go to the Super Bowl site. They're all holed up in a hotel room, and they wait for a knock. And if they get the knock on the door, that is basically indicative of them being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's David Baker, who is the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, knocks on their door and formally delivers the news to them. If you don't get a knock, well, then you get a call to let you know that you didn't make it. And Alan Faneca finally got the knock. After being rejected the previous 5 times, I shouldn't say rejected, but after being a finalist 5 times and not making it into the Hall, finally did so this go-round. And what a star-studded class this is in this Pro Football Hall of Fame. This Pro Football Hall of Fame class, which will, of course, include Peyton Manning as the headliner in his first year of eligibility, which is certainly phenomenal. Same going for Charles Woodson as a newly minted member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2021. John Lynch, Calvin Johnson also getting in. Calvin Johnson in his first year of eligibility. John Lynch, who also had to wait, but played the bulk of his career in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers. He gets his election in a year where the Bucs won the Super Bowl and played it in Tampa. And then also senior candidate Drew Pearson and coach Tom Flores were also elected, along with contributor Bill Nunn, who is the Steelers scouting and personnel guru. So that is the Pro Football Hall of Fame class that will be inducted August 6th through 9th, along with the 2020 class. They did not have the induction a year ago in Canton because of the pandemic, obviously. So the already very, very long Pro Football Hall of Fame induction is going to have not one but 2 classes inducted. My only hope is that they do it over 2 days and not over just one day, because that will be one long ass day. There's no other way to say it. But congrats certainly to Alan Faneca. One of the things that for me that I feel like I talk about every year around Hall of Fame time is I just really hate the fact that deserving players like Alan Faneca, like Kevin Mawae, have to wait. I mean, you always knew Faneca was a Hall of Famer. Faneca was going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That was never a doubt. He was a Hall of Fame player that was going to get in, but because they limit the number of players that get in every year, he just had to wait his turn, because you have guys that are going to be no doubt first ballot guys like a Peyton Manning, like a Charles Woodson, like a Calvin Johnson. And when that eats up half the class of inductees or electees, then you look at other positions, and a lot of times with linemen and receivers in particular, you have a logjam because you have so many at that position that are worthy. So Kevin Mawae had to wait, and this time Alan Faneca had to wait. But certainly well worth the wait, no doubt, for Faneca, who now becomes the 6th former LSU Tiger to be elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He joins Steve Van Buren, Y.A. Tittle, Jimmy Taylor, Johnny Robinson, and Kevin Mawae, now Alan Faneca. And look, I'll tell you, when I think of Faneca, there's 2 things that always first come into my mind. One, in 1997, LSU played Notre Dame in Tiger Stadium, and there was an awesome picture. And it was at TJ Ribs on Acadian forever. It's probably still there in a frame. I could show you right where on the wall it was for so many years. And it's Faneca and a defensive lineman from Notre Dame, like face mask to face mask, standing like leaning on each other, like talking smack. It's a badass picture. That's one. 2, I remember when Alan Faneca turned pro after his 3rd year. And at that time, it's hard to believe because it's only been, 25 years, which I guess feels like a very long time to say it out loud. But, in 97, it doesn't feel like that was that long ago. It really was very atypical for guys to leave early. Eddie Kennison did it and was LSU's first, a couple years prior. And then Faneca left after his junior season, but Faneca and Kevin Falk both had decisions to make. And I can remember at the time, a lot of the conversation, at least as I recall it, was because Cecil Collins, who had the giant start to 1997 and then broke his leg at Vanderbilt, was coming back in 98, the thought was, man, this is a great time for Falk to turn pro and sort of pass the torch to Cecil, and kind of wanted Faneca to return. And the opposite happened. Faneca left early, became a first-round draft pick. Falk returned, and thank God he did, because Cecil, of course, got in trouble, got kicked off, never played again, and Falk went on to set an SEC all-purpose yardage record, which I might have been broken by now, but I want to say Tim Tebow might have broken. But anyway, point is, those are always my first two memories of Faneca, but a dominating player, was an All-American, won the Jacobs blocking trophy as the best offensive lineman in the SEC, a no-doubt Hall of Fame career with the Steelers, with the Jets, and then finished up with the Arizona Cardinals. But Alan Faneca in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the sixth Tiger now. And the really fun thing is, think about this current wave of amazing players that are playing in the NFL. You're going to get this more and more and more from LSU greats. It's going to start happening more and more and more as the glory era of LSU football has churned out amazing players into the NFL that are now going to get this knock sometime after their career. So we won't have to wait quite as long to hear more Pro Football Hall of Famers from LSU. All right, it's After Further Review. Sports Center, Hour 2, coming up next.
AFR.
Let me take 60 seconds to remind you about South Point Volkswagen. So Friday night, went to South Point, dropped off Erica's vehicle over there. Needed to get some service done by the manufacturer. And then, as I went to go pick up the vehicle the next day, my dad was going. I saw Mr. Bill Reinhardt over at South Point. I said, "Hey, Mr. Bill, how are you?" He goes, "Hey, man, your dad's going to be here in about 15 minutes. I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, he's coming to see me at 1 o'clock. It was like 12:45. He said, "He'll be here at 1 o'clock. Coming to pick up your mom's car." So coming to pick up my mom's car. My mom bought a new Atlas. So my mom traded in the minivan, got a Volkswagen Atlas. Blue with gray, light gray leather interior, bells and whistles. It is a gorgeous vehicle, y'all. 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. It has redefined that family, that full-size SUV class. If you need an SUV, not thrilled with what you got, or you're in the market, go test drive an Atlas at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, the party rolls on for Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers' 31-9 rout of the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. 7-time Super Bowl champion and 5-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback Tom Brady today credited Tampa's defense, especially the D-line, in shutting down Kansas City's potent offense and playing a pivotal role in the win. Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles could not have scripted his game plan any better, says ESPN's Ryan Clark.
Todd Bowles found ways to pressure the quarterback, whether he brought the blitz, which he only had to do 10% of the time, or he rushed with 4. The thing they did was keep everything in front of them and make Patrick Mahomes earn it. He not only had to earn it, he had to read it in his drop. And when Shaq Barrett and JPP were getting after Patrick Mahomes, it wasn't a lot of time to read, it wasn't a lot of time to look, it wasn't a lot of time to drop.
The Vikings promoted Clint Kubiak to offensive coordinator. He was Minnesota's QB coach the last 2 seasons. The 33-year-old succeeds his father Gary, who retired last month. NBA Lakers center Anthony Davis will miss tonight's game against OKC with tendinosis of his right ankle.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Make it a good one. Mike Triplett, 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk some who dat with Mike Triplett. Reports over the weekend that Jameis Winston in the, quote, driver's seat to be the Saints starter. What about Drew Brees renegotiating his deal? A lot of stuff to delve into, the future of the roster, the franchise, all that stuff. We'll get to that with Mike Triplett coming up here in about 13 minutes from right now. We wrapped up last hour talking about Alan Faneca's election to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The other former Tiger that I wanted to mention that I just flat ran out of time, just real quickly, was Patrick Peterson. Report from Matt Verderame, who covers the Arizona Cardinals, citing a source. Cardinals and Patrick Peterson are parting ways, barring a significant change in stances, he writes. Peterson has enjoyed 8 Pro Bowl and 3 first-team All-Pro campaigns since being selected number 5 overall in the 2011 draft. A couple of things about Peterson. Patrick Peterson is an unrestricted free agent. So he is free to sign with whomever he wants at this point. I will be very, very interested to see what the market bears for Peterson, because I do think New Orleans is a possible landing spot for Patrick Peterson. Let me remind you that a couple of years ago, the Saints tried like heck to make a deal to bring Peterson to New Orleans. So there was a time in the not too distant past that Sean Payton thought that highly of Patrick Peterson that they were trying to trade for him to bring him to New Orleans. Ultimately, Peterson stayed in Arizona, where he's been for 10 years. So you know the Saints love him. They love the player. Do they still love him 10 years into his NFL career, now that he's into his 30s? All of that is a very fair question to ask. Patrick Peterson last year made $13.1 million. Janoris Jenkins, and this is why this is relevant. You've got Lattimore and Jenkins, but I've told you this before. Janoris Jenkins' contract is on the books for next year at $14.2 million. There is little to no possibility of Janoris Jenkins being back at that number. His dead cap hit is $7.2 million. So you could cut Janoris Jenkins and save $7 million against the cap. Now, maybe you re-sign Jenkins at a lesser number if he's open to it, but what would it take to get Patrick Peterson? Look, Patrick Peterson was a top 10 paid cornerback in the NFL this past year. Is he going to want to still be paid like a top 10 cornerback in the NFL? If so, then New Orleans likely isn't a fit. But it would make a lot of sense to basically have Patrick Peterson step into the same role as Janoris Jenkins. As a veteran with some tread still on the tire, opposite Lattimore, who's your guy, who's going to be your number one, locking down the other team's best every game, and you have Peterson as the complement on the other side of the field, and he still has a lot of ball left. Peterson tied his career high in interceptions this past year with 3. So, or second, by the way. His best year was he had 7 interceptions. Anyway, this is one to watch. And I know every year, whenever free agency starts, fans look at every player on free agency. Oh, we should get that guy. But by the way, while that's not possible to sign everybody, obviously, you should ask that question about everybody. I will always maintain that. You should always kick the tires. You should also always inquire. It's like shopping. You're shopping. Oh, I like that a lot. Hey, how much is this? Okay. And then you make a decision when you see how much it is. Put it back on the rack and keep shopping, or put it in your cart or haggle like I like to do. Even at retail stores. You ever haggle at a retail store? You can haggle at a retail store. Sometimes they'll give you a deal. You never know. You never know what you did. Never hurts to ask. So anyway, keep an eye on Patrick Peterson. I do think that there is a possibility, a very real possibility that could happen, depending on what his open market value is. Now, if he's going to garner $14, $15 million per season, which I don't think he will at this age, but if he does, that probably puts the Saints out. But at a lesser number, you better believe they'll kick the tires there. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Friday after we got off air, there was a report from The Advocate that LSU is being investigated by the U.S. Department of Education for potential violations of the Clery Act. That requires schools to report complaints or incidences of sexual violence on campus. And because of the report that came out about 3 months ago from USA Today, the allegations are surrounding Darius Geis and Drake Davis, LSU's handling of those allegations. So, to be very clear, it's not in any way a surprise that the federal government would investigate claims of wrongdoing which allegedly violated a federal law. Of course you're going to investigate that. That's not surprising in any way. Ernie Ballard, LSU spokesperson, said via statement, quote, "This week LSU was notified that the U.S. Department of Education would be conducting a campus crime program review related to Clery Act requirements. Campus safety and the well-being of those at LSU is always our priority, and following Clery guidelines for reporting and notifying the campus community is an important part of crime prevention that we take very seriously." Okay, so not surprising. LSU knew about it. It's now out. Nothing new in the way of breaking news with respect to the investigation or the allegations or anything like that. Scott Woodward did about a 25-minute interview with Jacques Doucet from WAFB, and they aired it after the Super Bowl. They teased it a little bit late last week with some excerpts about potential game in Vegas and things like that, which we discussed. And we'll talk more about what else Scott had to say. But Jacques did ask specifically about this, about the Title IX investigation and the federal review into LSU athletics. Can we start with 6, please, Muse? Jacques first asked if there was anything new with those allegations.
No, and I'm very proud of the leadership and the steady hand that our president, Tom Galligan, has taken with this, and hiring an outside law firm, Hush Blackwell, to really look at it and do the things that we need to do. And as always, it's important to look back and see the mistakes that we've made and own them, but it's more important to fix them going forward. And that's the thing. I don't want to have anyone involved in the situation, whether it's a victim or a perpetrator involved in these things. It It galls me and it upsets me in a big way. But we will get it right and we will fix it. And I'm very encouraged by what Hush Blackwell and President Galligan are doing.
So nothing new there, according to Woodward. He says it galls me, it upsets me. The thing that's interesting, though, is as they went on in this interview, there were a couple of things that Jock asked. He asked about potential impact on Ed Ogeron's job. Here's what Scott Woodward had to say.
Most everything that I know of has to do with the past, but no, Coach O's in very good stead. And like I told you, he and I are aligned and in a good shape, and we feel very good about where we are. Like I said, if we have to go back and see if there are any problems, we will fix them.
I'll remind you, one of the allegations is that Ed Ogeron had a player in his office complaining about apparently an inappropriate relationship with Geis and this player's girlfriend, and then something incongruent with federal law was said by Ogeron. Allegedly. Again, I want to be so careful that I say allegedly. That you understand, because my feeling on this, and every time we've talked about this, I've been entrenched here to say the nature of these allegations are so severe in a legal standpoint. Not just are you not going to be able to play football anymore. Like, we're talking about years in federal prison. The reason we have the burden of proof in our country that you're innocent until proven guilty is because if we didn't, then you could just accuse anybody of anything and put them in jail. The burden of proof is on the accuser. So unless and until any of this is proven, I am willing, before I cast any judgment at all, to say, let me hear the other side of this. Ed Ogeron, by the way, has flatly denied that, doing so in a statement during the season, if you recall that. But there's Woodward saying Ogeron's in good stead and good standing when he is part of this. Verge Ausberry, also, not allegedly, Verge Ausberry had text messages from Drake Davis where Drake Davis admitted to punching his then girlfriend. And the report is that Verge never reported that. Here was Scott Woodward on Verge's status.
Here again, Verge is 100% on board with the Hush Blackwell investigation, cooperating with them, helping them. And Verge is a very, very good employee and very good standing, and everything should be fine. We just have things, like I said, to look when the report comes to see what we need to do to get better.
Very good employee and very good standing. Look, personally, I love Verge Ausberry. I do. I mean, Verge has been so good to us. He's been on the show a lot of years. I like him, his family. I know Verge is a confidant with Woodward, and they've been great friends for a long time. You know, he's like at the middle of a very serious thing here. I just don't know that if I'm Scott Woodward, that he chose his words carefully enough there. And that's something that may come back to bite him, depending on how this investigation plays out. Now, we do expect that the investigation is going to be wrapped up by the end of this month, and we'll have a much clearer idea of where LSU moves forward. But the thing I said when this first broke, and the thing I've said every subsequent way, is this is a legal process. I am more than willing to let this entire legal matter run its course and see how all of this plays out with evidence, and let the accused have their day in court, whether it's in a literal court or through this investigation or whatever may come out. Way more than willing, because the allegations are so serious. You obviously don't want to jump to any conclusions. What I've also said consistently is if the allegations are proven to be true, then there must be firings at every level of Louisiana State University, from the president's office, from athletic administration to the football office, and everybody this thing touched needs to be gone, because this would be akin to Penn State, Michigan State, Baylor. It's that serious if you're talking about administrators sweeping rape allegations under the rug. Like, that's, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's what's being alleged here. And if that's true, then that cannot at any level ever be tolerated in any way. So I'm willing to wait, 100%. I'm willing to wait and see what comes of this. And my sincere hope is that there isn't merit to any of this, and they're able to prove that there is no merit to any of this. I'll wait. Wish Scott would have chosen his words a little more carefully there. All right, it's after further review. Mike Triplett joins us next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's what you get at Insurance Network of Louisiana. Listen, I got to stress this. Over the years, a lot of you have called Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm thrilled about that. I mean, I think the majority of their book of business is AFR listeners who have taken my advice and saved money and switched and got better coverage and all that stuff, which is awesome. But something I say often is, look, the worst thing that can happen when you call is they say, hey, look, what you have now is the best for you. Stick with that. And that does happen. But what I would really encourage you to do, if you're someone who called in the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and they said, stick with what you got, because of COVID, we've seen insurance rate spike. This could be a time to circle back, to call Insurance Network of Louisiana, run through the process again to see if now they can get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450. 293-0450.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Corolla for $235 per month. That's right, $235 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm glad you're with us here on a Monday edition of AFR, following up Super Bowl 55. Bucks are champions, which means a trio of LSU Tigers are Super Bowl champions as well. It also means the Saints head into an offseason trying to find a way to repeat as division champs, but also knock off the defending Super Bowl champ, which is in their own division. That process begins or has already begun. Mike Triplett, ESPN.com, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us. Mike, thanks for the time. How are you, man?
Doing well. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing really well. Let's start with the report over the weekend from Ian Rappaport and others about Jameis Winston being in the driver's seat, his word, to be, or his phrase, to be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints in 2021. Are you buying it?
Well, I think he has a really good chance, and I think everything Sean Payton said publicly when he did his Super Bowl media appearances last week is everything I've heard privately. I mean, Sean Payton doesn't really play poker when he talks to the media. I mean, it was the same thing last year when he was talking up Taysom Hill. We saw they signed Taysom Hill to a big contract. If anything, they probably think he's a horrible negotiator because he tells it like it is. But I think that probably also does have something to do with recruiting a little bit. Jameis Winston's going to be a free agent, and Sean Payton doesn't want to pretend like he's maybe, maybe not. He's serious about giving him a shot. Now, we know how they feel about Taysom Hill, and the only reason why maybe you'd give Winston a little better chance than Hill is I think he has more upside. If Winston looks like he taps into something, I think you can see, more potential with him. But he's a little bit more of an unknown at the same time. So I think that would be a summer competition between the two. And look, the Saints will look into every avenue. They'll make a call about a Deshaun Watson trade. They'll have discussions about Sam Darnold and Carson Wentz, and internally they'll talk about, well, who do we love in the draft and how much would it cost to move up? But considering the money they have at their disposal and the fact that the Texans wouldn't even take their call with the 28th pick in the draft for Deshaun Watson, they just wouldn't have the ammo to get him. I think Jamison Taysom is what we're going to see.
What, real quick, has Taysom Hill's, in the minds of the organization, has his star dimmed a little bit after his stint as the starter?
I have not heard that directly. The one thing I noted in my mind is, Sean Payton really went to bat for him, really stood up for him after each of the first three starts. And after the fourth start, he kind of acknowledged some of the things he was disappointed that he was still doing wrong, with holding on to the ball a little too long and the ball security. I think those are things that can be coached and schemed better. I cannot believe their game plan with Taysom Hill was not look for your first two reads, otherwise take off running, or even look for your first read, otherwise take off running, because his legs are such a weapon. But I think he'll get better at anticipation the more snaps he gets to play, and I think they'll get better at figuring out what he does well and what he doesn't do well. But all along, it was Taysom's turn in line. He had waited a long time. Peyton had promised him that opportunity. He got that opportunity. But that's out the window now. Now it's an open competition between Winston and Taysom Hill, and it'd be whoever they think gives them, A, the best chance to win, but B, who has the brighter future. And I think that might be where Winston would have the leg up is the long-term potential.
Mike Triplett's our guest. Mike, what do you think Jameis Winston's going to cost?
My guess, and I really don't know, but look, I was talking to somebody about this the other day who said, look at all the teams who need a quarterback. And I'm like, all right, let's go through them. Chicago. Last year, they could have had Jameis Winston for cheap. They paid a fortune for Nick Foles instead. New England could have had Jameis Winston for free and didn't sign anybody until Cam Newton a month later. There was one more, but somebody else that
Colts.
That the Colts. They signed Phillip Rivers for $25 million. Didn't kick the tires on. Washington was one we talked about that they weren't in the market for a quarterback last year. They're in the market for a quarterback now. Maybe Ron Rivera loves him, but I just don't see. To me, to take him away from New Orleans, you have to say, we are giving you our starting job and we're paying you, $12 million a year and we're guaranteeing it. I don't know who that team would be. I don't think another team that's saying, yeah, we're going to let you compete with someone here. Maybe we'll give you $8 million like the Raiders gave Marcus Mariota. I don't think that pries him away. My guess is a deal that was actually similar to the one that Teddy Bridgewater signed with the Jets that the Saints inherited after they traded for him. I believe it was $5 million But if he started X amount of games and threw for X amount of yards, it went all the way up to $15 million. I would not be surprised to see a deal that is structured something like that.
I'm really interested because my assumption, Mike, is he would have gotten a deal somewhere like what Teddy Bridgewater got in Carolina. Did Teddy's 5 games as a starter in New Orleans, was that really worth $30 million?
Well, Teddy's 5 games. Well, I mean, Teddy's deal was what, 21 and a half, 23, somewhere in that range. But look, Carolina could have had Winston too, and Carolina knows Winston very well. They played against him for 5 years. They wanted to pay Teddy Bridgewater $23 million, and they weren't interested in Jameis Winston when he was available. He was an unsigned free agent last year. So I don't, for better or for worse, the NFL kind of turned its nose down on Jameis Winston, and he was coming off that season with all the turnovers. But it's kind of funny. I mean, like, you know, I think somebody's going to pay Teddy Bridgewater money for Carson Wentz. I think somebody's going to trade a second-round draft pick for Carson Wentz and then pay him $25 million a year. I'm not convinced that's more of a sure thing than Jameis Winston is, but it's sort of like the league has spoken. I would not have been shocked if somebody would have paid Jameis Winston $20 million last year, but nobody did. Nobody came close to it.
A couple more minutes with Mike Triplett. He's on Twitter at Mike Triplett. I'll give him a follow, ESPN.com. Read his stuff there. We also saw over the weekend, Mike, I know you reported it, that the Saints have restructured Drew Brees' deal. Can you just explain? Because anytime we go like deep dive into numbers, right? Like a lot of our listeners, no doubt, are just confused and don't understand what that all means. Can you just kind of break it down elementary what happened with Brees' contract?
Well, here's what's funny about that is we talk about a restructured contract all the time. And it usually means the Saints took somebody's salary and turned it into a signing bonus. It's just a salary cap measure. It doesn't mean a thing. This time, Drew Brees took a $24 million pay cut. He changed his salary from $25 million to $1 million. So that screams Drew Brees is definitely retiring. I mean, the only other possibility is, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I know you guys have to worry about your salary cap, so I'll put my salary down to $1 million, and you know, it'll give me all summer to think about it. I don't think that's the case. I think he has decided to retire, and that was pretty glaring proof. But what it means is there's a sort of a, not a loophole, but the way they do the salary cap is when you have dead money left on your contract, and Drew Brees has $22 million in dead money left on his contract that will have to count against their cap. If you technically say he retires after June 1st, then you can split it up over 2 years. So it'll count $11 million against this year's cap, $11 million against next year's cap. And that's what they wanted to do. But if his salary was on the books until June 1st at $25 million, that they couldn't have afforded to do it that way. So they're saying, well, why don't we say your salary is $1 million? And he says, sure, I'm retiring anyway. I'm happy to do that for you guys. So it's a way that ultimately when he does retire, he is going to count $11 million against their cap this year, $11 million against their cap next year. It was a big number that people were worried about for a long time, and that's actually pretty palatable in the end.
Mike Triplett's with us. We've talked so much about quarterback, and that's obviously the question everybody has.
That's the story of the Saints. For 15 years, we didn't have to worry about it. Yeah. Now they're like all those other teams. That's the obsession. That's all we're going to talk about every time I'm on your show from now until September and probably December.
Well, that and Mad Libs, which we will do, especially in the off season. You know, we'll have you back and we'll just play Mad Libs or something like that. But Mike, I mean, we also saw Super Bowl 56 odds are out, and the Saints have the 8th best odds. I mean, Vegas is saying your roster is still really good. Now you got to figure out quarterback, but where else on this roster? Where else are the spots where internally the Saints know we've got to address that in free agency or in the draft?
Right. Well, if they did not have any salary cap issues, there's not a lot of glaring holes. They could run back the same roster as last year, and it's not bad. I mean, it's maybe one of the best in the league outside of quarterback. But they do have salary cap issues, so they're going to have to make major decisions about which guys they're keeping. Marcus Williams is a free agent. If you lose him, you badly need a free safety. Trey Hendrickson is a free agent. If you lose him, you probably need another defensive end. Who else am I thinking about? Sheldon Rankins, maybe not desperate at defensive tackle if you don't re-sign him. But then the next year, Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, Teron Armstead, all going into the final year of their contracts. If you're not planning to extend all of those guys beyond this year, you've got to replace them now. That becomes a top draft priority. So I think it really depends on which guy, and obviously they have to get younger at receiver. Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders can come back, but Emmanuel Sanders might have one more year left here. Malcolm Jenkins might have one more year left here. So it all really just, they have to decide who are we investing in long term, and if we're not re-signing these free agents over the next couple of years, then that position becomes a huge priority.
Mike, I got two more things, and we could do them quickly. One, I got to get your thoughts on the Saints violating NFL protocols and the possibility of more discipline. We know they've already lost one draft pick. What is this additional discipline going to amount to?
Well, actually, we don't know that they've already lost a draft pick. Adam Schefter did report that. The Saints, from what I've been told by sources, have still not been levied any discipline. And once they do hear of what their discipline is going to be, they're prepared to, fight it and challenge it and point out, especially from the incident in midseason when they were seen in the post-game locker room without masks, that you can find cases of 10 other teams doing that as well.
Right.
Why are we being singled out? So that remains to be determined just how severe their penalties are going to be and if they'll be able to appeal it and lessen those penalties. But obviously, the reporting is all accurate that the NFL has tagged and targeted them. And in this case, it was accurate that while they were doing their normal review of video to see who else Alvin Kamara was in contact with, they spotted somebody who wasn't supposed to be in the locker room. And, that is an offense that I'm sure there will be some discipline for.
So the Saints, as we know, will go into the draft with the picks they have, likely to get a few compensatory picks as well for the Teddy Bridgewater and Terry Fontenot defections, I guess we could say. What else last thing for this offseason, what else for New Orleans is right there at the top of their to-do list between now and obviously the start of free agency?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's all who can you afford to keep. I mean, they could theoretically re-sign every free agent that we talked about. They could extend Lattimore. They could extend Ramczyk. They could theoretically choose to do all that. They don't have to trade Michael Thomas. They don't have to trade Marshawn Lattimore. But all of those things are on the table. Letting a free agent go, I tend to think maybe they let Trey Hendrickson go. He might have priced himself out of where they had him pictured. I think Marcus Williams is actually really important to this team. But every decision is about, how are we going to get under the cap and who are we going to commit to? Because, the salary cap, I mean, maybe people don't follow it that closely. It's going to be about $20-25 million less than they planned for because of the lost revenues last year. And that is some extreme belt tightening coming up.
He is Mike Triplett. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Mike Triplett. And, of course, read his stuff at ESPN.com. Always good enough to give us a couple of minutes. Mike, we appreciate you as always, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, man. Be well. It is After Further Review. We will continue. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. Stick around.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local over at Clegg's Nursery. And it is actually an awesome time to get by Clegg's because right now with this cooler weather, this is the best time, believe it or not, to plant trees and shrubs. And every day at Clegg's, they've got full greenhouses. They get new truckloads of plants coming in from their greenhouses every week. There are even seasonal flowers that thrive in the cooler weather. So you want to turn that gloomy gray outdoor area into something with a pop of color? You could do it during the winter months right now, thanks to Clegg's Nursery. They have the answers. And I tell you every day, buy local and shop local. Their horticulturists are experts. They understand the Louisiana climate. If you're not sure, if you're not a green thumb, I mean, I'm not. I always just take a picture of my yard or my patio, flower bed, say, like, what would look good here? And then they give me advice. Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Right, Tom? There's more to come as far as football.
Yeah, we're coming back.
We're coming back.
Know that.
Coming back. Tom Brady's coming back.
There we go.
Do you think Gisele Bündchen was just weeping in that moment? Husband wins his 7th Super Bowl championship, and then without even having a conversation with her, he on stage in front of the world and everybody announces that he's coming back. I mean, I guess maybe they could have had that conversation prior, but it's also been pretty well known and documented throughout the years that Gisele has made it kind of known through different channels that she's ready for Tom to retire and for them to begin their life post-football. And that ain't going to happen. I was watching the game last night, Sunday night, with my brother-in-law, and he goes, "Hey, man, you think if Tampa wins, you think Tom retires?" I said, "Hell no." I mean, Tom Brady, before the season started, we played this on the show back when it happened. The Tampa Bay digital media did this, game show, air quotes, where It's Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, and they're sitting in lawn chairs, and Raymond James Stadium is behind them. They have their feet like in a little kiddie pool, right? And each has a dry erase board. And someone's asking them a question, and they both have to write the answer to see if they match. Like if Gronk can guess Brady's answer. How well do you know each other, sort of thing. And the question was, which Super Bowl was Tom's favorite? And Gronk just starts laughing. And he writes it down. Of course, he gets the answer correct. It was the next one. Y'all, there's a lot of people. Let me rephrase that. There aren't a lot of people walking the face of planet Earth that are physically good enough to play quarterback in the NFL. It's a very small pool of humans that have ever lived that are physically gifted enough to do that. Even smaller is the pool of people who are physically gifted enough to do that, who have married that with insane preparation to allow them to be what they are. I mean, we had Rohan in here last week previewing the Super Bowl, and he was talking about Brady and said, Ro's words were, I didn't have that. The level of commitment that he has. And it sounds so obvious to say, but sometimes we overlook the very obvious. I mean, Jamarcus Russell was a physical freak who didn't achieve great things because he wasn't committed to it for whatever reason. I'm not here to knock him. I mean, run through the list of first-round quarterbacks that have bombed. Blaine Gabbert, who won a Super Bowl last night, by the way, as a backup. Jake Locker. I mean, the list is Christian Ponder was a first-round draft pick. E.J. Manuel was a first-round draft pick. Yo, run down the list. Tom Brady's just different. He's just wired differently. It's the same DNA that will not allow Nick Saban to walk away. I joke that Saban made a deal with the devil and he's going to win championships until he's 175, and then, when he wins that 100, he's 175 years and wins his 90th championship, and the pits of hell will open up and swallow him right into to pay his debt in eternity. I mean, I joke about it, but Saban is never walking away because what motivates him is the next one. Same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not going to go out on top. Tom Brady is going to go out when he sucks. He's just not going to be able to leave. And only when he sucks and is not good enough to do it anymore is he going to leave. He didn't look like he was anywhere near the finish line last night. So he ain't going nowhere. And if you're a Saints fan, this really sucks because he's in your division and you got to deal with him twice a year. And he just eliminated you from the playoffs. And everybody from that team apparently wants to come back. I mean, after that game last night, Gronk, Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, all said there's no reason that they think they wouldn't be back in Tampa next year. Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Ndamukong Suh, all free agents that all say they want to be back in Tampa. And the conversation we've had about the Saints being $80 million over the projected cap this year, it's the opposite in Tampa. Tampa has $38 million in cap space, which isn't a ton when you start talking about having to re-sign your free agents and then going into veteran free agency, and you still have to pay your draft picks, et cetera. But they're at $38 million already before they restructure anything or have cap casualties to try to free up space. It's logical to think Tampa's only going to get better. They're going to have ways to supplement their roster to get even better next year. How many is enough? There isn't a number when you're wired like that. There's never enough. I mean, here was Brady talking about, after the game, getting number 7. Listen to how he describes it.
Well, I think they're all special, and they're all this has been an amazing year. Amazing year. We got off to a good start, 7-2, and then had a little rough stretch where we kind of found our identity and played a lot better football down last December, January. And just really proud of all the guys, proud of all the coaches, the effort we put in. We knew we were playing a great football team tonight, and we got the job done. So you want to get this far, you got to get the job done, and we did it.
the old cliche, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's going to remain true in the NFL and in the NFC South. And the Saints are going to go into next year not as the odds-on favorite to win the NFC South because that Tampa team, which just hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, is going to be back in full next year and probably even better because they're going to be able to supplement through the draft and through free agency because they have money to spend to make their roster even better than it was the one that just won the Super Bowl yesterday. Bruce Arians, at 68 years old, also said that he fully expects to be back next year to see if they can go back-to-back, and then after that, he'll figure it out. So congrats to everybody in Tampa. I'm sick about it. I mean, I'm pumped for my guy Kevin Minter, who's going to join us on the show tomorrow. For Devin White, who had just such an incredible breakout performance, a breakout season. Obviously for Leonard Fournette, was such a big part of that offense getting going late in the season when they really established the running game behind Fournette after Ronald Jones got injured. But as a Saints fan, I'm sick about it because Tampa's not only going to be back next year, they're going to be just as good, if not better, than they were this season because it took them half a year really to get their sea legs, and then they started galloping late, and they're only going to get better next year. What's that further review? There was a streaker in the game last night, by the way. And one of the great traditions in football is the great Kevin Harlan, and I do not use that term loosely at all. Kevin Harlan is amazing. But anytime there's a streaker, Kevin Harlan has a lot of fun. This was how it sounded on Westwood One with Kevin Harlan calling the streaker.
Second down, 20, 5:03 to go. Someone has run on the field. Some guy with a bra. And now he's not being chased. He's running down the middle of the 40. Arms in the air in a victory salute. He's pulling down his pants. Put up your pants, my man. Pull up those pants. He's being chased to the 30. He breaks a tackle from a security guard. The 20, down the middle, the 10, the 5. He slides at the 1, and they converge on him at the goal line. Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man. And the players with hands on hips at the other end of the field are looking at him and shaking their head and saying, why, oh why, is this taking place in a Super Bowl?
I don't know that you could ever stop that from taking place anywhere that it may well happen, but Super Bowl or not. I think I don't know. Yeah, he had on like a leotard or maybe a woman's swimsuit. And there was, yeah.
It looks like a one-piece, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a one-piece swimsuit, and Kevin Harlan called it a bra. And obviously, he had some logo on it, so clearly hoping that this would go viral and people would see this business and then go look it up. I would imagine that it's probably done pretty well today. I'm not going to mention the name of it. You can find it if you want to find it. But it's always, like, can you pull that picture back up, Paul? Look at the large security guard. I mean, airborne, parallel to the ground, kind of getting stiff-armed there. That's just a rough go, man.
Pretty good action shot, though, honestly.
It is a good action shot, but this is also a great illustration of why there are pro athletes and then there are the rest of us. Speaking of pro athletes, Muso will have Tigers in the pros when we return to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. You know, if that Super Bowl was being played in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, perhaps the security guard who went parallel to the ground airborne might have needed a quick checkup. Well, you could always run to any one of 3 emergency care locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. 3 emergency rooms, the Bluebonnet campus, the Mid-City location, and, of course, the new neighborhood hospital in Ascension, which also has emergency room care. Baton Rouge General Hospital expanding healthcare in Baton Rouge. Of course, COVID on everybody's minds. If you need COVID-19 information, you can get it at brgeneral.org about the antibody testing, the vaccine, how you can help, plasma treatments. It's all there at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Click the COVID-19 banner right there at the top of the page. You get all the information that you need right there at brgeneral.org. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, where you get expert clinical collaboration, brgeneral.org.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 a month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town USA.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Bye.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Relief Windows. Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
So some more Tigers won the Super Bowl last night. They are Leonard Fournette, Devin White, Kevin Minter, Cyril Grayson. Congrats to those guys. They all had fantastic games, well, especially Leonard and Devin White. Leonard, 135 total scrimmage yards, 89 of them on the ground with a touchdown, 46 of them through the air receiving. Just an overall solid day for Leonard Fournette.
God, he should have won the MVP. He had a shot.
Man, that would have been great, wouldn't it?
When he scored, he had a shot, and then they went back-to-back possessions to Ronald Jones when they were just chewing up clock. And it's like, damn it, this was like, if he had put together, if he had put together another 30, 40 yards right there, which is very doable, he could have gone for 130, a score, another 40 yards receiving. He would have won MVP.
Over 200 yards of total offense. That would have
been close to 200, yeah.
I'd have got the job done. Devin White, 12 total tackles, 8 of them all by himself.
He could have been MVP, too.
2 of them came for a loss. Oh, and by the way, he had a pass defended and an interception.
Yeah. Pretty good.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
Just Absolutely nuts.
The entire football world saw that.
Yes.
That's what was great about last night, because people may know his top 5 pick. I don't know how many people actually watched a full game and seen Devin White do that. The world was put on alert yesterday.
Clyde had a nice game for the Chiefs on the other side. 9 carries for 64 yards. He also added 2 catches and 23 yards. Did not find the end zone, but an overall solid debut in the Super Bowl for the rookie. Tyrann Mathieu, on the other hand, had a pretty rough night. Three total tackles, 2 of them solo, drew a lot of pass interference penalties, even if the ball was thrown into the first row. And Darrell Williams also with a tough night, only 5 yards rushing and 10 yards receiving. Also had a touchdown go off of his face mask.
That was brutal.
That was tough. That was an incredible play by Patrick Mahomes, who was parallel to the ground and somehow threw it 30 yards.
Dude, Tyreek missed one like that too.
Tyreek Hill did miss one like that as well. Just, wasn't their night, man. And NBA action tonight. Tigers are back out on the floor. Former Tigers, I should say, back out on the floor. Look out in the Bulls game for Garrett Temple, and Nas Reed and Timberwolves will be in action as well. And that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. You abandoned me there.
You got to wait for the lead. You jumped into it. I wasn't ready. All right. I will say, I think Brain's timing, he and I have a little better timing with the Kentucky's Best Hemp. You try it again?
Let's try it again.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Better. That was better. All right. Brought to you by Kentucky's Best Hemp. A promo code AFR30 to save 30% off your order. Hemp, all natural CBD, inflammation, anxiety, trouble sleeping. It's a great remedy. And they have their new bourbon-flavored CBD oil at Kentucky's Best Hemp. Use the promo code AFR30, AFR30, AFR30 to save 30% off at KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. All right, we're getting it, Muse. We're getting it there. All right, Kevin Mawae, Pro Football Hall of Famer Kevin Mawae, is going to join us. He's got a new gig with the Indianapolis Colts. We'll talk about that, the Super Bowl, the Hall of Fame, all that stuff coming up. Kevin Mawae joins us right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Let 2020 be the year you see. Let's say it again. Let 2021 be the year you see 2020. There it is. By the way, Devin White, of course, is a LASIK customer or patient of Dr. Blake Williamson over at the Williamson Eye Center. When I had my LASIK done, Devin White and I went over to the Williamson Eye Center with Dr. Blake Williamson. We shot some promotional videos, and it was fantastic. Devin White would tell a story that he couldn't even see the sideline when coaches were making their calls from the sideline. So Devin White had his LASIK done by Dr. Blake Williamson over at the Williamson Eye Center, just like I did. And now Devin White is Super Bowl champion, Devin White, which is really pretty phenomenal to think. So do what Devin White did. Do what a Super Bowl champion did. Do what I did. Go to the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com. Sports wouldn't be the same without the diehard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 a month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. One day after winning a 7th Super Bowl championship and 5th Super Bowl MVP, Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady talked about the 31-9 victory over the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. Said the way Tampa Bay's defense, especially the D-line, got after Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes was pivotal in the win. Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles had the perfect matchup set as well, points out ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Levante David, you got Travis Kelce. When we man up, you have him. Devin White, when it's a rundown, use your speed and athleticism to get to the ball with bad intentions. The ability to plaster. Plastering is on the backside when Mahomes breaks the pocket, and all of the guys are making sure that they have a man in that situation.
Mahomes said today the loss in the Super Bowl will motivate him for the rest of his career. The NHL has postponed 2 more games for the Sabres, 3 more for the Devils, 2 more for the Wild, as those teams continue to recover from COVID-19 outbreaks among players. NBA Lakers big man Anthony Davis out tonight against the Thunder with an Achilles tendon issue.
We're back on Tuesday. The Chiefs have just gone to 2 straight Super Bowls, but we'll tell you why number 3 will be the toughest path yet. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Super Bowl 55 in the books. The Bucks are world champions. We got a newly minted Hall of Fame class, and our good buddy Kevin Mawae has a new gig after 3 years as an analyst at Arizona State. He is headed up to the Indianapolis Colts to be their assistant offensive line coach. Kevin Mawae is good enough to join us for a couple of minutes now. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Doing awesome. It's good to hear your voice. We always appreciate a couple of minutes from a Hall of Famer. Did you wear the gold jacket last night?
I did not, but I did have it on TV Saturday morning. So I shoot a little video congratulating Alan should he get in, which he did. So I did not wear it yesterday, though.
Did you find out like everybody else did?
I found out I want to like Friday night, a mutual friend texted me to let me know that Alan had told him he was getting in.
Awesome.
So I had to hold it back.
I didn't know if Hall of Famers have like certain privilege. Like, do you find out stuff early? Do you get like after hours access to the Hall of Fame? Do you get free meals at the cafeteria? Do you get any bonuses like that?
You get a discount at the store.
Wait, are you serious? You get a discount at the store?
I get a discount from either little codes or gold jackets. Put it in when you go order your stuff out online. And put little codes and get a nice little discount. And they will hold the doors open for you if you're in Canton, or somebody will come and unlock the doors for you later in the evening if that's the only time you can be there. But
nice.
So you get a few little things like that. That's cool. Not so bad.
Hey, man, congrats on the job in Indy. 3 years as an analyst at Arizona State, and now moving on to the NFL as assistant offensive line coach. How did all this come about?
Yeah, it wasn't the plan. I was expecting to take over the offensive line job at ASU, but I was told at the end of the season that the coordinator was going to have to pick his own guy. And that verbiage in coaching means you better start looking for another job. So I started looking, and I made a cold call out to Frank Reich, and started, people made calls for me, and of course they did their background, had an interview, and ultimately landed the job. Man, so I'm excited about it.
So what's the process? And by the way, were you obviously you were wanting to stay at Arizona State, as you mentioned, but is your ambition in coaching ultimately college, or is it in the NFL?
Yeah, I just wanted a job. I wanted to coach offensive linemen, and whether it be college or pros, it just depended on how it worked out. I've been at ASU. I was there for 3 years with the intention of taking over the offensive line job. When the O-line coach retired, it didn't happen that way. You find out quickly that this business is a cutthroat business, and not every time what you're told is going to be what happens and what plays out. And it is what it is. So there's no bitterness on my part. I'm just, fortunate for me that the NFL worked out. And I think I fit well in the NFL. I know the business. I know the players. I know the game. The greatest thing about the NFL is you don't have to do all the recruiting, which I didn't mind doing. But when you get rid of that second opponent, it kind of frees you up a little bit. So it's been kind of nice the last 3 weeks not having that second opponent attached to my hip.
Kevin Mawae is with us. He's on Twitter at Kevin Mawae. How would you describe your 3 years at Arizona State, your first foray into coaching?
It was, you learn a lot. You see things just like any job you have. You take notes on what you would do and things that you wouldn't do or things you didn't like. And if I have an opportunity, this is how I would teach things. And so there's growth in any opportunity that you get. I enjoy the recruiting part of it. I'm a relationship guy. I like getting to know people and recruiting, and getting to know families and stuff. So, I felt like I did a good job recruiting here at ASU. It's unfortunate because, we get guys to sign, and every one of the guys that we signed from the line's perspective were told that I was a mid-offensive line coach, and then we get them on ink, and now I'm not. So that's the frustrating thing for me. That's the part that I don't care for. But, and so when the decision for me was made, I had a couple phone calls and talked to the kids that I invested time in. And so, but, there's two stories to every, two parts to every story. And she's going to have their side. I got mine. I know what happened. But my thing is I was honest with the kids, and that's the most important thing for me.
No. Man, it's so weird for a guy who, just knowing you personally, as great a guy as you are, obviously, and then as world-class, a Hall of Fame player as you were, and obviously a great teacher as well, it's so weird to listen to you kind of have to be bummed, I'm super bummed for you, man.
Well, I'm not bummed, but here's the deal, man. God closes doors and he opens them. And, and I'm going to the NFL, a business that I know really well. And I'm going to a staff who sees my value and is excited about me being part of it. Chris Strasser is the offensive line coach there. I've known him for a few years now, and I know what he's about, and I know the man of integrity and the man of character that Frank Reich is. And I've got former teammates that are in that organization that couldn't stand up I wasn't. You start questioning it, just feel like we need to be doing, that kind of thing. But you learn how to separate the business from the coaching. One of the coaches I know told me it's a crappy business, but it's an awesome profession. And so, so you just got to be taken with the perspective of that and knowing that, again, you know that I'm a man of faith, and I believe that God puts you where He wants you. He orchestrates your steps to accomplish His goals, and so I'm good with it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. You can't win a Super Bowl in college football, so so that's what the plan is,
Well, I hope you don't win one next year, man. Maybe eventually, but not next year, man. I need the Saints to get something done here. Speaking of which, Super Bowl was yesterday. What was your reaction to the game, man, as far, not maybe even just the result, because there is the any given Sunday element, but how it played out?
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be a close game. I really did. I thought it was the over-under. I thought I had a 55 points combined. The winners won who I thought would. I wanted Tom Brady to win just because there's a sense of me that wants to show that this game's about the Jimmys and Joes, not the X's and O's all the time. And if you take a guy like him, take him out of the Patriots, everyone, he's not going to win. Well, he did. And he had a great supporting cast with the guys they got there. So that was the fun part of watching it. But I did not expect it to be such a one-sided game like it was.
Hey, man, before you go, new Hall of Fame class, you mentioned that you did the video. So LSU Twitter, I know, released that out there, but it was sort of a congratulatory video to Alan Faneca. Listen, he had to wait, 5 times not getting the knock before he finally did. Man, just your thoughts on this class as a whole, in particular, having another LSU Tiger go in.
Well, one, I think they're great players. Obviously, everybody knew Peyton was going to get in. Everybody thought Charles Woodson would be a first-time guy. I think the biggest question mark was Megatron, John Johnson, but he got in. It's great. I'm happy for him. I still think the 19 class is the best class ever. I think every class would say that, but I'm more thrilled for Alan Faneca. Because we sat on that bus 3 or 4 times together when we didn't get the knock, and you just kind of look at each other and be like, man, this sucks, And for him to get in, for one, for him, 2, as an LSU guy, it's just special. He becomes the 6th guy in LSU history to go to the Hall of Fame, and I'm thrilled to death for him and Julie and their family and what they did, and that's the more exciting thing for me is that he joined us. And the cooler thing for me is now the guys we're getting in now are guys that I've played with or against. And so they're more of my peers than they are guys that I looked up to the whole time. So it'll be neat being at this coming year's induction ceremony.
Yeah, no doubt. Kevin Mawae, Pro Football Hall of Famer and an all-around Hall of Famer. Great dude, man. Always appreciate a couple of minutes. Best of luck in Indy. We'll be watching, man. We'll keep in touch, all right?
No doubt, man. I appreciate you guys having me. I didn't know you spent all the way up to Alexandria now. You're like up in my hometown now. It's pretty
man.
Awesome.
Charles is an awesome dude, man. I don't know if you got a chance to visit with him lately or if you know him well, man, but just an awesome guy. Always excited when we get a few minutes with him.
That's awesome, man. Well, good. Well, man, I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk again.
All right. We'll see you, man. That's Kevin Mawae, former Tiger grade, of course, Pro Football Hall of Famer, starting his the next part of his coaching profession. How much does that suck, man? Out there recruit, like that is the thing about coach. I think the phrase he used is perfect. It's a great job. It's an awful business in coaching. So anyway, he thought he was told he was going to be the offensive line coach at Arizona State when the current coach retired. He retired, then Kevin didn't get the job. The new OC brought in his own guy. So bit of a bummer there, man. But headed to Indy, going to the NFL, doesn't have to recruit anymore, and no doubt he's going to do a great job there. So appreciate a couple minutes with Kevin. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. I do want to get some thoughts in on something we discussed briefly with Mike Triplett in the last hour, which is the NFL apparently going to further discipline the New Orleans Saints for COVID-19 protocol violations. Yeah. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $25 off any system repair. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Had a buddy text me over the weekend. Said, "Hey man, what's What's the AC company that you always endorse? Of course, I mentioned River City's 1 Hour Air. And he said, man, they were awesome. So they got here in 20 minutes. It was a crazy 24 hours for their family. Actually asked me for the name of the owner because this person wanted to send a thank you to the owner of River City's 1 Hour Air for the job they did for their family on what was a really tough day for their family in a pinch and in such a quick manner. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Great people, run by a great family, expertly trained technicians that are always on time or you don't pay a dime. River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Corolla for $235 per month. That's right, $235 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
As always, we appreciate our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. They are just the best. Y'all give them a shout. Really interesting. Watching the Super Bowl last night, and by now you know that Tampa Bay won. Bit of a bummer. But I do like watching championships and like watching championship celebrations and mostly like the trophy presentation. See if you ever catch anything kind of neat, one-offs. You never know. Guys celebrating when they let down their guard. a little bit. Remember when the Astros won the World Series and remember Correa proposed to his girlfriend in the post-game celebration? It was actually really wild because Sam and Jackie Bregman, Alex's parents, were like right there in the shot between Correa and his then fiance. I mean, they were literally center of the frame on TV. Anyway, you never know what you might see. And last night, it was so funny. Last night, so the Bucs win the Super Bowl, and then they go do the trophy presentation, the Lombardi Trophy, and you got the owners of the Bucs on the stage up there with the commissioner, Roger Goodell, who hands out the Lombardi. And man, Jim Nantz had on his mask, and a lot of the coaches and players, as you would expect, had on their masks because that's what you're supposed to do now, right? Like you can't even go into your post-game locker room after you just spent 3 hours bleeding and spitting and sweating on everybody. But then as soon as you go into the locker room, got to mask up, right? Because we're saving everyone from COVID, right? I mean, it's so severe that Roger Goodell has already levied hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines and stripped draft picks away from the Saints and the Raiders for mask violations. Really, really taking the mask mandate very seriously, all of their COVID protocols. And so, much to my surprise, when the Lombardi Trophy is being presented Sunday night to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the commissioner, Roger Goodell, there he is on camera, 100 million people watching. No mask! It is actually uncomfortable, probably unhealthy for me to loathe a human being as much as I do that I have never met. We're supposed to love our neighbor and all that stuff and really believe in the good in all people. And mostly I do, but I loathe that man. That was a gigantic FU to the Saints and everybody else. That was a heel kick to the nutsack is what that was. Excuse me. I know it's 5 o'clock. You probably got some kids in the car. You mean to tell me that the New Orleans Saints on an Instagram Live by a player are dancing in their postgame locker room without masks so they get fined and hit with a draft pick reduction? Meanwhile, both the Steelers and the Chiefs' official Twitter accounts, not from a player who started up an IG Live, the official Twitter accounts for the Steelers and the Chiefs posted similar videos of their team celebrating in the postgame locker room, no masks and no word from the NFL. Remember that time the Saints played the Broncos and the Broncos didn't have a quarterback? Do you remember that? Remember that? Because they all had COVID or protocols, right? I mean, I would assume you probably have some pretty egregious violations going on if an entire room is taken out, right? Yeah, they didn't get penalized. Hey, remember that time the Titans and the Ravens both were like run amok with COVID and they had to play games on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays? Do you remember that? Remember that? Yeah, nothing happened to them. The Saints are the troublemaker in class in the eyes of Roger Goodell. You understand that, right? It's the analogy we can all understand. When you were in school, there was a kid. There was a kid in your class who always got in trouble. Probably initially brought attention onto himself, and theretofore, the teacher always looked at that kid first for everything. I don't want to say this guy's name because he might be listening. I think he still lives in Baton Rouge, but there was a guy in one of my classes in high school where every day we had chalkboards. This was before they had whiteboards. We had chalkboards. He would walk into the class and he would get a handful of chalk. Like before the chalk was like worn down, it was like the full long sticks of chalk. He'd get it out of the box and he would hum the chalk at the chalkboard, and it would just explode. And the teacher was always in the hall greeting the students as they came to the classroom, so we never actually saw it happen, right? But everyone knew it was that guy. And every single day, if anything ever went wrong, the teacher always looked at him, talking in class with and that guy always got in trouble. Always. Even if he didn't do it. If something went wrong, they just assumed it was him. That's where the Saints are with Roger Goodell. The Saints are that kid. Because of the blowback from Bountygate, because of the blowback from Nola No Call, because of Sean Payton wearing the Goodell clown t-shirt under his quarter zip, unzipped just enough where you could see the top of that logo, and by the definitive color of the shirt and positioning of the logo, you know exactly what that was. Because the Saints have been that guy, Roger Goodell is the pissed off teacher that's going to take every opportunity possible to stick it to you. That's where you are right now with him. And there was that a-hole last night on TV without a mask. I mean, of all the times over the last almost 12 months that we've discussed COVID and protocols and everything on this show, as heated as I've gotten about some things, as you all know, the fact that this NFL season just went through where you literally have team captains that can't shake hands at midfield. The team captains can't shake hands at midfield because we can't pass COVID, right? And then they go to their sideline, then we kick off, and then it's 3.5 hours of humans all on top of each other, bleeding and spitting and sweating and grunting and talking and everything. But the captains can't shake hands. And when you're on the sideline, you got to wear a mask. Yet, on the game's biggest stage, after your crowning achievement, which is the Super Bowl, there's the commissioner of your league, amid elderly owners of the Bucs, the Glazers, and there he is, maskless. Roger Goodell absolutely has an axe to grind against New Orleans. That's one. And two, as I have said forever, the mask mandate is for show. I'm not saying masks don't work, etc. The mask mandate is for show. This is a game of optics. And last night, Roger Goodell lost in a major way. But because he's who he is, he's not going to punish himself. But just think about the gross lack of self-awareness. The gross lack of self-awareness. To know that you're at the Super Bowl. You're going on stage to hand over the Lombardi Trophy. A moment that will be memorialized forever. I mean, when teams win a Super Bowl, there are photographs taken. And these photographs hang in offices and galleries and halls of fame and ballrooms and restaurants forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. These moments are immortalized. And Roger Goodell didn't have enough common sense amid a season wrought with disruption because of COVID-19, polished off by a Super Bowl in front of 20,000 fans, more cardboard cutouts than actual humans in the stadium, and walking onto that field and onto that stage and up to that mic, it never occurred to him, maybe I should put my mask on. And it coincides with the story, the report from Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, that the Saints are going to be hit with more penalties following an investigation into Alvin Kamara's positive test in December. Because apparently, someone was in the Saints building that should not have been in the Saints building, and that person apparently had tested positive for COVID-19. And because of that, the Saints are going to get pile driven into the ground by Roger Goodell, again, because he can, because he's the teacher with a power complex, and the Saints are the misbehaving student. And even though the rest of the class is talking, and even though maybe you weren't the one that hummed the chalk at the chalkboard this time, you're the one that's going to feel the brunt of it from this a-hole. I would love to punch him in the face. I'm not really much on violence. Like, I don't like punching people. I don't really go around punching people. It's been a long time since I've punched somebody. I would like to punch him in the face. That's where I am with this. That's immature. That's classless. That's all the adjectives you'd like to use. I would like to punch him in the nose. Like a good closed fist punch right in the nose. That's what I would like to do. Just one. I may not daze him at all. I mean, it would just be a nice release for me, just to punch him right in the nose. I would like that a lot. No mask. No mask. I mean, that happened last night, right? Everyone else watching thought the same exact thing. That Goodell, no mask. Whew. Are the owners of the Bucs, because they didn't have masks either, are they going to have to, like, get fined or get back the trophy or something? No mask? After further review. Scott Woodward did an interview with Jacques Doucet. Talked about some of the Title IX stuff. He also talked about Ed Ogeron, Will Wade, Paul Maneri. We'll talk about that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Need dinner plans tonight? Ichiban, always a great option. Essen near Perkins. And also at Ichiban, their newest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen. Bo-Ru is an electric depot on Government Street. And y'all, this is authentic Japanese ramen. This is an authentic Japanese dining experience. At Bo-Ru, they hand make every noodle. This is an awesome indoor-outdoor dining experience. They have unique Asian design cocktails, big 70-inch flat screens. They hand make every noodle. When you're in line, you can see the glass room. You'll walk by where someone is hand making every noodle. The broth for the ramen takes 30 hours to make. Y'all, this isn't 50-cent ramen in a bag. This is an affordable but authentic Japanese dining experience. Indoor or outdoor dining, it's Bo-Ru Ramen. In Electric Depot on Government Street. Think outside the box. Try Bo-Ru Ramen.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Bill Busch has a new home. Former LSU safeties coach has been hired as a defensive analyst at the University of Nebraska. Did have a previous stint at the University of Nebraska before coming to LSU. Bill Busch back in the coaching game now as a defensive analyst there at Nebraska. So he will be off field, which certainly is an interesting role for him. He was there as Bill Callahan's safety coach and special teams coordinator from 2004 to 2007. Also under Tom Osborne as a grad assistant from 90 to 93. So Bill Busch out of Baton Rouge, obviously, this year. He'll be back in Lincoln as an analyst, defensive analyst with the University of Nebraska. Meanwhile, the LSU football program, the beat goes on. And Scott Woodward did a wide-ranging interview with Jacques Doucet of WAFB. You can catch that interview in its entirety. It's about 24 minutes long in its entirety. It's on the WAFB YouTube channel and also at WAFB.com if you want to go watch the entirety of the interview. Earlier, we played some of what Scott Woodward had to say about the Title IX investigation. He also talked about, they talked a lot about football. He talked about the direction of the LSU football program.
Absolutely. You know, this past season obviously was a disappointment. It's a disappointment to Coach O, disappointment for everyone that wears purple and gold. We understand that. Our expectations are high here. Coach O and I, are aligned on that, and we're on the same page that, hey, we're here to win championships, and when we don't, we're disappointed.
He was also asked to evaluate the job that Ed Orgeron did in the pandemic season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the problems, it was problematic, but, you know, even more as our fans know and as your viewers know, is that it was a different year for us. We lost a lot of talent on this team, a lot of leadership, and it was a lot in flux, you know, and pile COVID on top of that. It was a unique situation. But here again, we're not going to make excuses. We're going to come back and we're going to, you know, try to get better and do the things that got us to success in 19 and continue to try to get there and try to do them.
So confidence in Ed Orgeron to get it right, that they're aligned, same page, all that good stuff. Turn to the page 2021, and the assumption is obviously that the season will go off. And one of the bigger questions have been about attendance and tailgating and a lot of the things that would feel sort of normal for an LSU football season. And granted, that's 8 months away. So between now and September, a giant amount of time for it to get through cold and flu season, to have more people become vaccinated. I mean, we saw a football game last night that had 22,000 fans in attendance. The assumption is we'll get closer to normal in the 2021 football season. But Jock asked Scott Woodward if a full stadium were possible for the opener against McNeese.
Oh, I think it's very possible. I'm hoping, you know, you'll see maybe not the collegiate baseball season, but maybe the end and maybe Major League Baseball, you'll see some full stadiums.
Now, what about tailgating?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's part of it, and that's what we live for. You know, it's who we are, and it's what makes us great and makes us fun-loving and enjoyable people. And I couldn't imagine another season without tailgating.
Couldn't imagine another season without tailgating. That's fantastic to see and to hear. I also would point out, that LSU before last spring, and we got through that first COVID wave in March, and we started to see the decline. LSU was planning to be at near capacity. The reduction was going to come in the air quotes indoor seating, the suites and the stadium club. But the open air areas, there was a feeling late spring, early summer that they were going to be full. I know we talked about it here on the show. That was the feeling LSU had internally. And then in June, we hit another spike. Things started to shut down. That's where everything kind of wobbled a bit. You saw, obviously, a much reduced capacity. But the point is, LSU wants to have people in the stadium. And as long as the numbers trend the way they're supposed to, LSU is going to exercise to the fullest what they can as far as allowing attendance. Another hot-button issue, of course, is the Will Wade situation. And Jacques asked Scott Woodward if there was anything new on that investigation into Coach Wade.
That's one thing I can't talk about. We're under strict guidelines to not talk about anything that involves the NCAA and that. And so I'm going to have to leave it at that and be frank with you there. I'd get my knuckles wrapped and the lawyers would choke me. So I can't go there.
So understood. You can't talk about that investigation, but on the floor you can talk about what's been a disappointing year to date for LSU, but that also speaks to just how far that program's come. The last year under Johnny Jones, LSU had its worst season in 50 years, where they were 2-16 in the league, and now we're kind of bent because LSU's 6-4, 11 wins overall, and wondering why a team with tournament expectations is maybe teetering a little bit. Here was Scott Woodward on the evaluation of the job Will Wade's done.
Fabulous young coach and bright future, a very good guy that I've grown to like and appreciate because I didn't know him obviously. But I think he really cares about his players, he cares about LSU, and he cares about, has great passion of being competitive and doing the things that benefit our young student athletes.
Football, basketball, and of course baseball is the other revenue generator for LSU. Here was Scott Woodward evaluating LSU's baseball program right now under Paul Mainieri.
Coach Mainieri speaks for himself. He's the winningest coach in college baseball right now. And hey, is it Skip Bertman? What is? I was lucky to be here and live through those glory days, with my two boys and to witness the magic that we had here, and we have it, and it's still here. Is it as good as those days? What will be? I don't know. If anyone will do what Skip's done ever going forward, but I'm very proud of the baseball program and what and how they've done things, and we will have a very good baseball team this year, and I look forward to the season, hopefully with more fans.
Scott Woodward with Jacques Doucet again. If you want to watch the interview in its entirety, WAFB.com or the WAFB YouTube channel, you can see it all there. But Scott is a guy who has been very open with the understanding that he doesn't want to be a front-facing leader. He wants coaches and players to be the ones doing interviews and getting credit and being recognized and aware. So it's not often that Scott wants to do interviews, or it's not for lack of asking or anything like that, or him being stand-up. Scott's always very approachable. He answers questions and is always willing to take a call or a meeting, and I think that's fantastic. But he doesn't often do that, where he sits down or comes on radio or whatever. He'd rather other people on his staff do that. I mean, Verge goes on weekly with T-Bob, and we've had Stephanie Remp on here before. Robert Munson was with us regularly. That's just the way Scott chooses to lead. So whenever you can get some time with him and hear it directly from the horse's mouth, we're always going to pay a little more attention. So Scott Woodward again with Jacques. Good job there by Jacques Doucet. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999, and yours could be next. Tell you all the time over at GMFS Mortgage that not only are they committed to helping you change your life financially, they're also committed to our communities. At GMFS Mortgage, their Go Local campaign is giving away $10,000 in Visa gift cards All you have to do is log on to gmfsmortgage.com, gmfsmortgage.com, to learn more about how you could win one of $10,000 worth of Visa gift cards from GMFS Mortgage. It's right there at the website, gmfsmortgage.com, gmfsmortgage.com. And, of course, for every loan they close, they make a donation to Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center in the name of their borrower. It's GMFS Mortgage. Online at gmfsmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives. All right, one segment to go. Jimmy Ott joins us for Otter Locks. You might even have a scone cold lock or two. Huh? That's next. We'll wrap it up. Stick around.
AFR.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Corolla for $235 per month. That's right, $235 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. As always, we appreciate Brandon Holly and our friends at Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Bottom line, you need windows, doors, or siding. There's just nobody better. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, it is a Monday after the Super Bowl, the most wagered event annually in our nation. So why stop now? Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
We welcome aboard Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
I mean, do you want to finish the semester of finals and then go back into intersession? I mean, come on, man.
No.
It was, hey, that's why you play the props, huh, man? Really dull game, but, the props were all over the place in action till the very end. How about this? Even had a prop on whether or not there would be a streaker. I mean, really.
That's not bad. I would why not go bet your life savings and then be the streaker? You spend a night in jail. You're in the clink for a night, but man, you collect. That ain't bad, right?
Kevin, I'm having to explain to EJ why they're not showing the camera on the streaker, things like that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Well, how did you do? Go run through the list. How you did yesterday?
I lost to the game, Kansas City. Never had a chance.
Why the bell? There's no bell there. By the way, Otter. Who had Tampa winning outright?
Very good. Very good. Okay, so this segment's about me. So let's go to the prop.
All right.
The biggest prop I had, Darrell Williams under 30 rushing yards and Clyde over, because Clyde was healthy, and both of those came through. So Williams under 29.5. He only had 29.5. It was anywhere from 27.5 to 32.5. But it 2 carries for 5 yards there. First TD pass. First TD will be a pass. That hit.
Yeah.
The opening kickoff to be a touchback did not.
Yeah, it didn't.
They ran it up.
I was watching that, man, and they even deferred, and it was like we talked about this. They deferred. Yes. Butker kicked off and brought it out from about 3 yards deep.
And the kickers are on fire, man. I mean, they were blasting field goals left and right. So. Roughing the quarterback. That one came in very late, but it did. So that hit. And then Ronald Jones rushing yardage over 32.5. So we went 5-1 on the prop that we released on Thursday.
Congrats. That's awesome, man. Very good.
That and we had a 2-1 night in basketball on Thursday night. And NHL, Dwayne Colucci, Ice Colucci from Vegas, hit his hockey pick as well.
Very good.
Tonight,
right.
College basketball, not crazy about the card. A couple of main games at 8 p.m. do catch my attention. The Blue Bloods, we've been fading them all year, and cashed again on Saturday as West Virginia easily covered the 1-point spread, winning by 13. They're 8-11 against the spread. Now they're playing Oklahoma State, who's playing well. I'm a little concerned about the Oklahoma State sort of the hangover effect for beating Texas in double overtime in Stillwater. But their guard is good, man. He's probably a lottery pick, and that's just a lot of points that they're getting. A lot of steam on Kansas. You might look it up, Matt. I'm seeing as much as like 6.5 some places.
Okay.
So Oklahoma State plus the big number there, and then Ohio State. We've been riding them, man. They've covered their last 5 out of 6. They had a nice win for us. That was one of our picks outright in Iowa City against Iowa. So we're laying 3 against Maryland, who has only one win by 1 in their home in conference play at Cole Fieldhouse. So we're going to ride Ohio State. So we're going to continue to fade the Blue Bloods, getting some value there, and kind of I don't know why Ohio State is a little bit under the radar with the odds makers. They lit 3 points to the modest line on the road in Maryland. But congratulations on Tampa Bay. That was a man. Look, when you get pressure like that, I mean, I know that Brady beat Mahomes. Okay, did Brandon Harris beat Mahomes when Mahomes was running for his life in the Texas Bowl? I mean,
Leonard Fournette beat Mahomes again. Leonard Fournette ran wild in that game. Texas Tech had no defense.
And that's another thing. That tonight it reminds me of Hanny. I'm watching the game. They're free. They're free. Fournette free. Gronk free. Antonio Brown free. You know what they all did yesterday?
Scored
all the touchdowns.
All of them.
Were those three that they picked up.
Free. If it's free, it's for me. Come on, hey! Otter, so your boy had Tampa. I also had a 3-0 NBA weekend and a 3-0 NHL weekend. So,
very good.
In Fuego, you want 2 Scone Cold locks for tonight?
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
Here we go to the National Hockey League. We go to the league, the National Hockey League. Both these games go off in 7 minutes. I'm giving these are puck line plays, by the way. I'm giving you Ottawa.
Are they minus or plus?
They
1.5
are
pucks?
plus 1.5.
Where are they laying? I'll check it out.
And I'm giving you Vancouver plus 1.5. Ottawa, Vancouver, puck line, both plus 1.5. Go get rich.
What are you laying in those?
I don't know. I placed it this morning. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, good. So so we got a lot of things to recap. For the Super Bowl, go through all of our guests. I mean, a couple of them. Bruce Marshall went undefeated.
Oh, nice.
Tampa money line. Paul Bovey went 7-2. Wes Reynolds went 4-0. So the props week was a lot of work, but man, they really did very, very well. How about this tough beat in the props though? Okay. So I go over. Nikola Jokic is averaging.
Oh, I heard you talking about this, and I wouldn't. I heard you talking about this.
Yes. And so,
he had a 50-point night.
Well, he's averaging 40 combined rebounds and points. Okay. So I'm going to get a field goal over 40, right? I'm getting 50-yard field goals left and right. Well, no, I need a 60-yard because he dropped 50.
That was so good. They were playing the Kings, right? And so one of my plays, Otter, I had the Kings with the points outright underdog winner. I'm telling you, man, in Fuego. Otter, where are you tonight?
IVAR, the original sports bar in town on Perkins Road by the Perkins Road overpass, baby.
Y'all go check out the Otter for Game Time with Jimmy Ott following us in Baton Rouge. Thank you, Otter.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right, man, we'll see you. Musa, what did you learn?
Boston cares about Brady more than Tampa.
Paulie.
Saints still have good Super Bowl odds in 2021.
Yeah.
What did you learn, Matt?
How about that? Kevin Mawae.
AFR.
I ran out of time. I looked up. I had 1 second. Kevin Mawae was promised the Arizona State offensive line job and then didn't get it. That's a bummer. All right. Getting on down the road. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey, and Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. A lot of people are asking, now that you can kind of see, obviously, my face and my build, I'm losing weight. Ideal Protein over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Just because we've started our AFR weight loss challenge doesn't mean it's too late for you to jump on board. If you've already derailed your New Year's resolution, you need a program that's going to get you on target with someone holding you accountable to get to your weight loss goals. Ideal Protein can do it. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Mention the show. There's a $150 initial consult fee. They waive that if you mention the show. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Change your life. TheAntiAgingClinics.com.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st,